Okay, so you've been seeing some of those earnings when we keep reporting them, and everyone is reporting what's coming from the oil and gas space, as well as consumer goods, a bit of industrial goods, and then the agro-allied segment of the market. Let's turn our attention to Bolahan Aina, who is the head of investment at Cultural Capital. He's live here in the studio this morning to take us through some of these earnings beyond the banks. We spent some time yesterday with the banks. We'll return to the banks tomorrow for some particular reason. But today, let's put the banks aside and talk about the non-banking sector. Good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning, boss.
Earnings time is a period that keeps you investment research analysts, investment analysts very busy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So let's just go straight with what I think is an issue. And now that is beginning to look like what's hurting the listed oil palm companies, Presco and Okomo. Those two had a roar in 2016. They had a better than expected 2017. Then 2018 first half is looking like the honeymoon is over.
Yeah, rightly said, Bossin. So if you know, oil palm oil has experienced a year-on-year decline globally. And of course, a number of factors. If you recall, so the trade war as well, for instance, has been factored in by traders in the price of CPO. Also because oil palm, there's been a stable dollar, so we've seen a bit of influx of oil palm into the country by importers. So if you backtrack...
I thought we have done with those guys. I thought we dealt with them. I thought with the central bank, with the FX and tariff, we've been able to tame or shut them down a little bit in terms of volume coming in. But this report says that we still have a huge volume of imported palm oil into Nigeria.
Absolutely. So there's been stable dollar pricing. So of course, when dollar is stable, it's good for any manufacturer or any importer because you can price in into your model. So obviously, because Naira has been stable, dollar has been stable against the Naira. So we've seen that importation still coming into the country as well. Then, like you said, major things that CPO price has come down significantly. Also, Okomo, they're into rubber as well. So rubber price has declined as well for this year. Traditionally, for the CPO market, really the first half of the year is usually like their peak market. So we saw a bit of uptick in Q1, but A2 is usually like off-peak market. So we expect to be sluggish even as we move into A2. But that sluggishness usually starts from Q2. So volume has declined. Also because of pricing has declined as well. So that's affected revenue significantly for Okomo and Presco.
What do you think we could do with these folks importing palm oil into Nigeria?
So what
more can we do?
So really for Okomo and Presco, so they're also trying to expand. So they're expanding capacity, but that might not begin to feed in after maybe about 2 years from now. So really you can't like block them entirely. But of course, I think for them as well, they also need to become more efficient in terms of their production. So of course, if they are more efficient, then they can be able to compete in terms of pricing.
Is there the market for palm oil, what we call red oil in Nigeria, is existing? 180 million people.
It's huge. It's a huge market.
Yes. And we have just about two, of course, of this palm oil producer on the market. Okitipupa Oil Palm, the news is just coming through that they're making a strong comeback in their own business. Once listed, delisted a number of years ago, but still in good business down there in Ondo State, Southwest.
Yeah, but a major thing is the price of the CPO, which I mentioned. And of course, that affects their revenue and their pricing. And of course, there's a global factor to it. The trade war has caused that as well. Then India is like the major importer of CPO, of oil palm, but of course there's a tariff in India as well. So they have also reduced their importation of crude palm oil. So
is there a bit of, where is the silver lining for Okomo Oil and Presco? Presco is, this is not good. This month or last month, shares down about 21%, when the broader market was just about 3 or 4% in negative territory. That's seriously underperforming the broader market.
Yeah, so for guys that are looking at technical trades, so you're just looking at the pricing, for instance, and because Presco has dipped a bit, so in terms of upside potential, there seems to be an upside. But of course, we spoke with Okomo earlier the year, and of course, they guided that this year might not be so much of a good year, but they said that there's going to be recovery next year. So fundamentally, the fundamentals are there, but if you're investing for the long term, you can invest in those counters. But if it's on a short-term basis, you might want to look to some other securities that can give you better return. your investment.
Okay, let's push the palm oil folks aside a little bit. We're going to put them aside and talk to one which is much a little bit more sweeter. Seplat Petroleum. Looks like this is a very good half year, first half for Seplat.
Wonderful results, I would say.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
No, if you made almost $50 million, that is good.
Yeah. But the key thing about most results we've seen is that the dollar factor is still there. So for Seplat, because dollar has been good, for instance, so in terms of production has been good. In terms of the price for gas and for oil as well, that has been good for them. Then, you know, Seplat did an Eurobond earlier this year, so it was a bit of a restructuring. So they're able to also record finance income this year as well.
Those guys were smart.
Yeah,
because they restructured their existing debt, and they did a bit of a refinancing. Absolutely. Then they pushed a bit of the repayment forward. I think that will be about December. Yeah. And now with the oil market looking very sweet, it's a nice time to be in E&P business.
Absolutely. So Seplat seems to be on a roller coaster. Like I said, gas has been good. If you recall, last year they opened the Forcados terminal as well. So in terms of supply as well, that has been a bit steady for them as well. So for Seplat, I still think it's going to be like a roller coaster. We still expect oil price to be steady this year, currently at about $74 per barrel. And of course, everything still looks to the positive, that we're going to at least over around $74 to $80 per barrel.
How much better do you think you can be? Look at Seplat, net cash flow from operations, $245 million. Capital expenditure, just $21 million. Just clean out the market. Home and dry. Absolutely. Nice story, isn't it?
Yeah, but I wish we would say the same thing for the downstream sector, which is declining on the same thing.
No, the downstream sector doesn't look too good. If you look at this morning, we've got 40 oil coming through, and both the gross earnings was good, but the pre-tax and post-tax were not significantly good. Total managed to above the water. Same for Mobil.
Yeah, 11
and for for Double One PLC, and of course the production part helped Owando report a better than expected numbers. So
for the oil and gas, the downstream sector, so really they've been pressured. So obviously they would have loved that sector is deregulated. So really it hasn't been deregulated. We've seen oil prices jump up, and of course, government has maintained the price at $145.
You're going back to one of the most difficult situation or discussion in Nigeria.
Yeah, so NNPC is majorly the sole importer for oil, so really that has been pressured. But of course, most of them have made income or money from lubricants, their business. So they are really diversified, and of course, they are making income or volumes from lubricant business. And for 11 Energy, you know, they are pretty much in real estate as well. So they made a lot of money from property. In their
that's true. Mobil's got a lot. Let's talk about Nestle for about two minutes. This is one very other sweet story. Absolutely. Almost 57% earnings per share, EBITDA north of almost 30%. Yeah. How much better could Nestle get? Where do you see the price?
Well, Nestle has always been a choice stock, right? It's tightly held. Everybody that owns the Nestle doesn't want to sell it. So EPS that was released was about 25 naira. Which is absolutely fantastic.
How much premium can I pay you for Nestle?
Well,
you're not likely to let go.
No.
So, is there a guidance on what the full year will be on Nestle? Currently, 942 naira 23 kobo per share, the most highly priced stock on our market. Any guidance here?
Yes, I still expect Nestle to trade within that 1,400 naira band.
1,400 naira.
Yes, and of course, consumer wallet has been quite impressive this year. Economy is improving. Dollar has been stable. That contributed immensely to their top line. So they have some input that they have to import. And of course, when dollar was fluctuating or when it was a bit volatile, that wasn't good for their earnings. But of course, like I said, dollar has always been like a major factor for what we've seen in this earnings season.
And that company is really aggressive when it comes to marketing and pushing its products.
Absolutely, and they have a huge, aggressive product portfolio.
That's interesting. Thank you. Let's leave it there for today. But if you are willing to let go, let me know.
Well, 1,000% premium.
I can now laugh it all the way to the end. Bola Haino, the head of investment at Quadros Capital.